If you deal with chronic, one-sided lower back pain, persistent knee stiffness, or hips that always feel out of balance, the actual source of your discomfort might be hiding in your stance. Leg length discrepancy is a highly common condition where one leg is shorter than the other. Today, we are going to build a personalized management plan for this condition. We will clear up the clinical myths surrounding uneven limbs, look at how doctors actually assess the discrepancy, and walk through a 4-step relief routine you can do at home. Before we begin the physical routine, you will need to clear some wall space and grab a sturdy chair. And as always, consult your physician or physical therapist before starting a new exercise program to ensure these movements are safe for your specific body. Identifying a limb length difference shifts the focus of recovery. Instead of treating a single aching joint in isolation, you can begin addressing the mechanical foundation that dictates how your entire skeleton moves and absorbs impact. There is a persistent myth that one leg has to be drastically shorter than the other to cause problems. The clinical data shows a different reality. A discrepancy of just 5 millimeters is enough to significantly alter your gait and lead to premature osteoarthritis in your joints. To understand why, look at the mechanics of pelvic obliquity. When you stand, a shorter leg pulls the corresponding side of your pelvis downward, creating a tilted foundation. Because your central nervous system prioritizes keeping your head and eyes level with the horizon, your spine has to adapt. It bends laterally to compensate for the tilted pelvis, creating what is known as functional scoliosis. This imbalance occurs in 2 distinct forms. A structural discrepancy means the femur or tibia bones are actually different lengths. A functional discrepancy means the bones are perfectly equal, but tight, contracted muscles are twisting the pelvis and pulling one leg higher. Chronic asymmetrical back or hip pain is rarely an isolated joint failing on its own. It is a predictable chain reaction that happens when the body is forced to balance on an uneven base. Because structural and functional discrepancies require entirely different treatments, an accurate clinical measurement is the only safe place to start your recovery. Your doctor might perform a block test. During this exam, you stand barefoot while the practitioner places precisely measured wooden blocks under your shorter leg. They add height millimeter by millimeter until your hips are completely level. For a more exact diagnosis, they will use a scanogram. This is a specialized X-ray that measures your exact bone length from hip to ankle against a precise ruler, establishing the true anatomical difference. Knowing this, you should never guess your own discrepancy and buy over-the-counter shoe lifts online. If you have a functional discrepancy, where tight muscles are the root cause, inserting a heel lift into your shoe will reinforce that muscular imbalance. It allows the tight muscles to remain tight, making the pelvic tilt much worse over time. Treating a discrepancy without clinical measurements is like trying to level a leaning house without inspecting the concrete foundation. You need exact data before you add structural support. While you wait for a clinical assessment, you can use a 4-step mobility routine to manage your symptoms. These movements will not alter your bone length, but they will relieve secondary muscular pain and help stabilize your pelvis. Step 1 is the wall hamstring stretch. Lie flat on your back and lock your shorter leg vertically against a wall. Hold this position for 30 seconds. This deep stretch counteracts the chronic muscle tightness pulling on the back of your pelvis. Step 2 focuses on core bracing. Still on the floor, actively engage your inner abdominal stabilizers to press your spine completely flat against the ground. This drill trains your body to hold the pelvis in a strictly neutral position. The major point of failure here is arching your lower back. The moment your spine lifts off the floor, your core disengages and you lose that crucial pelvic neutrality. Step 3 is quadriceps lifts. Stand up and use a chair for balance. Raise your leg in front of you to a 90-degree angle and hold it for 3 seconds. This rebuilds the localized strength needed to support uneven impacts. Finally, step 4 is side kicks. Stand on your longer leg and laterally kick your shorter leg into the air. These high-impact air kicks place microstrains on the short limb, which stimulates bone density and remodeling. Executing this routine with perfect pelvic neutrality prevents compensatory injuries. It trains your body to safely bear weight, even with an asymmetrical base. Moving off the exercise mat, staying active with an uneven limb length requires strategic load management throughout your day. First, prioritize supportive footwear with a wide base. Make sure your shoes have secure fasteners like laces or Velcro. If your doctor eventually prescribes custom orthotics, your shoes need to hold them firmly in place. Next, avoid repetitive, high-impact activities like running when you are heavily fatigued. Exhaustion degrades your nervous system's ability to safely compensate for the uneven limb, increasing your risk of injury. To counter this, incorporate dynamic balance training into your warm-up before playing sports. This keeps your neuromuscular system primed and ready to absorb uneven impacts. By proactively respecting your body's biomechanical limits, an active athletic lifestyle remains entirely sustainable. Congratulations on completing the mobility routine. Your joint pain is a real mechanical issue, and you are taking the right steps to manage it. Your next step is to take this mechanical knowledge to a physical therapist or orthopedist. Explicitly request a standing block test or a scanogram to get your exact measurements. While you wait for that clinical assessment, bookmark this video and utilize the 4-step routine daily to keep your symptoms under control. Combining clinical measurements with a personalized mobility routine allows you to move past temporary relief and begin building a stable, symmetrical foundation for every step you take.